Hey, g'day guys, Calvin, Cartoon in New Zealand. Are you wiring up a Soarer or an sc400 and you're looking at it and you're not quite certain, or you've decided to use that for your conversion and it's configured differently to what you quite expected? Let's have a little comparison and I'll show you the solution that I've got here for it. So this is it was a Lumina kit car, but it came through a firewall plug, comes into the cabin where the ECU's mounted. This one was an aftermarket ECU. And the relays and fuses and all the power supplies are inside the cabin close to the ECU. Well, a Soarer or sc400 have the ECU in the cabin. So this is a Soarer, so I'm on the left hand side. If it was a sc400, it'd be on the other side where our steering wheel is. And then there's a whole lot of other plugs in this area up under there. But the main power supplies are down here. Battery, fuse box. Under there are the main power supplies into the wiring harness. There's also a fuel pump control back in here. So for some setups, that's not ideal. Others you can work with the loom just as it is, just fine. But it gives us some options, or we need to know about a couple of solutions when you're wiring them. One solution is when I'm redoing them, I configure quite a bit of the loom. So here in the cabin, we've got the ECU plug, and the Soarer is a little different to some others where the extra plug, this one, is part of the engine harness. Sometimes when I do a rewire, I build my relays and fuses and I tuck my third plug. It becomes part of the relay fuse box setup. This one's also got instead of having the fuel pump controller, it's got this tachometric relay. This is designed to go in a vehicle that has a fuel pump relay in the vehicle, and that tachometric relay then turns that relay on. So that's what that one's for. That, however, is really good if I'm doing the whole loom for someone. But if someone wants a solution where they want to plug it in or pop it into, connect it into a standard type loom without huge modifications, then this one isn't ideal. And I'm okay with that. It's one that I use. However, I've sat down, taken some time to build up another one. And I'm also, as part of my wiring instructions, going to do some instructions on how to build this setup as well. So it gives another option. So if you're buying my instructions for the Soarer sc400, then there's already diagrams and some ideas on how to build this setup. And there's a video on the tachometric relays, which is solely for instruction customers. But I'm also going to do a set of instructions on actually how I make this. The other option is this can be purchased and very quickly it can be connected in. It is made without the connectors, without plugs. It is not a plug-in. I haven't sat down and found the numbers and got connectors ordered to make it completely plug-in. And I still recommend taking out a whole lot of extra wire. So in all these wires here, there's a lot of crap that isn't needed. This is a non-traction control. So with a traction control, there's even more wires in this department. So what I've done is I've made this one a short length. It connects into 2 wires there. And then going down here, there are 7 wires. That one's popped out. And they connect in, they're long enough, you can see, they're nice and long. So the relay box can be mounted in the cabin, and that goes out to the engine bay. Of course, if you're doing an sc400 harness, the ECU is even further away because it's on the right-hand side, and the connectors are on the left-hand front. So these wires, instead of being about 1.5 meters long, become about 2.5 meters long. So that's enough to get across the car out to the engine bay for most conversion vehicles. I've got 3 relays in here. I've got an EFI relay, an ignition relay, and a start relay. And then I've got a tachometric relay solution here as well. So no need to use the fuel pump controller. You can just put that in and it'll make everything work. This provides a really simple solution for people who want the relays neat and tidy and nice and easy, and they can connect in 7 wires under the bonnet, 2 wires in the cabin, and their conversion vehicle will start and run. This is for a manual. I should actually say this is for a manual. Ideally, I'd like to see the transmission loom removed and some extra wires around there removed, but it isn't strictly necessary. Or if someone's up to those bits and pieces, they can do that stuff. Just make sure that the cold start injector works properly, that the ECU is powered up correctly. If you watch my video on running an engine on 2 cylinders, Old Yeller had a Soarer loom attached, and I just bridged a couple of wires in the 3-pin plug and it fired up and ran. But it was not wired correctly, and that is one of the reasons I was able to do that test, because when they're wired properly, it will bring up a code 14 or 15. So that's a good indication if it's wired correctly or not. It's something that I can get away with and I know I can do. So there's an options. You've got conversion instructions with the instructions on how to build the relays and fuses, or you can buy the relay fuse box, pop it in. As I said, there's 7 wires there, 2 wires there, and a power wire, fuel pump output wire, power and ignition out of the vehicle, and vroom vroom it goes, starts and runs. I'm going to refab this Soarer loom, and then when I'm done, let's connect this thing up, check it works, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'm testing a loom that I've refabbed and testing relays and fuses to show you what I'm doing. Righto, so the loom that we're going to test has been refabbed and is back, fitted onto, it's fitted onto Old Yeller. We're not here to talk about loom refabs. We're talking about this relay setup. We're going to connect it to this engine and we're going to fire this thing up, check this relay set works. I'm going to show you how easy this is to connect as well. I've designed it to suit as many people as we can. Because it's a conversion, they're all a little bit different, but if you know what you're getting, you know what to expect, that should help a lot of guys out. So there's some fuses in there, and if you're not sure where they line up with, you can see that there's some gaps. That's whether it's auto or manual as well. I'm going to start and I connect my fuel pump. The fuel pump goes right there. This is my test one. This will come engraved, but you can put it on the wrong way. Just be careful of that. Right, we're going to take these wires, okay, and we're going to take the 3 big wires for a start. We're going to clip it over here. I don't want you little yellow wire. So we clip the white wire in here. So that's start trigger. That's ignition. And that's the ECU supply. In this department, we've got the green wire goes to that pin there. We've got The yellow wire goes to that pin there, and the white one goes to that pin there. Now the brown is the earth. So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. The brown wire in the plug out in the engine bay runs through to a pin inside the car, and I often bridge that into the earth circuit. So the earth that you get can be in a couple of places. It could be by the relays and fuses. On this one, I've brought it out to the engine bay. If you're not happy, just clip a couple of zip ties. None of this has been taped up in here as such. You can just pull that brown wire out and move it. I'm okay with that, okay? I'm okay with guys modifying and changing what I've produced, and it's designed for that. So anyway, so that earth wire will often come with an eyelet on it. So if you see an eyelet, it means that's the earth. I happen to have a good clean earth right here. Bang, earth. Then there's this one here. So that goes to a permanent battery power. All the time, permanent battery. I should get rid of this wire. It's been hanging around for a bit. Then ignition goes on the ignition in fuse. The earmuffs, oh wait, there's two more. I'm too soon with my earmuffs, but premature. So IGSW over here. And we do have a couple of options. It can go over here, or you can do a bridgey thing again. Right, and this one here, taco, bang, and that one there. And of course, I would like guys to put plugs on, okay? Don't just push them in like me. Now it's time for the earmuffs. Earmuffs on. Grab this. How long did that take me? So that is an unmodified. It is, I've done a refab, but it is a completely stock sc400. This is a Soarer, or sc400 is the same. Soarer non-VVTi loom. And with this relays and fuses, you connect, we got 6, 7, 8. Earth is number 9. Main battery power 10, fuel pump 11, 12, 13. That's unlucky. Might have to modify that. Anyway, 13 wires, bang, it's going. And it literally is as easy as I just showed you, providing you have a good ECU. The ECU I'm using today has been rebuilt in the US by Josh at Relentless Motorsport. Thanks very much, Josh. I've got one rebuilt by my guys over here. So that's going to be tested as well. And I happened to be trying to fire this before, and I was firing up the refab, and I've got a stuffed one that someone's been into. So that'll go off to be rebuilt. So I hope you get the idea that I do recommend a rebuilt ECU in these situations. But I hope that's been really, really helpful for you. You can see that this is an option for guys. You can, of course, you can change it. If you say you wanted to reconfigure the wiring harness, pull all the wires into the cabin by the ECU and have your power supplies in there, well, you can. And then you just take your side cutters, right there, cut that off, connect in right by the ECU. It's made to be modified. It doesn't come with connectors on this one. It kind of makes me think I might want to get some, but that's for another day. Those wires, pretty much anyone can wire it. So with the options here, just to go over your options again, hey, and I do full loom rebuilds and refabs and mods and all that stuff. I sell connector sets if you want to do that stuff yourself. I sell a set of wiring instructions, which includes a video on how to make those relays and fuses. How many guys are actually making videos to help people build the products that they sell? And there's not very many. But I'm happy for guys, if they want to build them themselves, go for it. Or, if you want a really quick, easy solution, just buy this off me. You'll have your engine swap running in no time at all. As you said, no modifications needed to the loom, and it starts and runs it. It's that easy. So this has been helpful. We'll catch you again soon. Catch you later.